Last week, I spent 3 days in Berlin. I was there to attend Superbooth, an annual synthesizer festival. It's held in a mixed-use outdoor park, sort of a forest with a bunch of kids' playgrounds in it. For the most part, the synthesizers are on display in tents. I pair up with friend and fellow YouTuber, Jorb, and together we walk from tent to tent, trying out different machines, many of which sound amazing and offer unique ways of manipulating sound. Of course, hundreds of other people are doing the same thing, and the sound of all of these instruments playing at the same time is cacophonous. One instrument that I keep coming back to is this. It's a prototype from Korg's Berlin office. Unlike most synthesizers, which rely entirely on electronic circuitry, this instrument produces sound using a series of resonating metal tines, each of which is tuned to a different note. Each resonator has its own pickup and a little transducer, and when you press a button, a pulse is sent to the transducer, causing the resonator to vibrate. As you can hear, it has a gentle, sort of hypnotic sound. Part of what makes it so magical is because it's mechanical, each hit sounds slightly different. There's also a sequencer. This is Lucas, one of the engineers responsible for this instrument. You'll notice that as he's playing, he takes these little pieces of wood and he puts them on the resonators, which changes their sound. And it's kind of like a core part of this instrument. The tines have been intentionally left exposed, and the creators hope that players will just reach in and mess with them as they play, maybe even develop their own playing style. I had a go at creating my own sequence, and as it was running, other people came up and messed with the tines, which was really cool. Felt like a collaborative art project. You may notice that some of the resonators look a bit different than the others. That's by design. The plan is for the instrument to ship with a range of different resonators, and players will be able to choose which ones they want on their instrument.
We want to provide like alternative, like custom kits where you can have like different tunings, different tonal qualities, and visually as well. You can print your own knobs, or you can paint your own side panel. That's the kind of spirit we want to kind of embrace about kind of, you know, like owning an instrument, you know?
By the way, the super friendly person I'm talking to in this clip is Tetsuya Takahashi, otherwise known as Tats. You may recognize him as the synth designer behind many of Korg's most successful instruments of the past decade. Here he's showing me how similar the instrument is to a reverb tank. It was really a pleasure to talk to him, and also to learn more about Korg Berlin, which is a semi-autonomous subsidiary of Korg Japan.
Which is great, but also it's very difficult because we can't do what Tokyo is doing. We can't do the same thing, but in Berlin. So what new kind of chapter can we open for us to be excited about what we're doing?
Since this is a new kind of instrument, it's hard to know exactly how it's going to be used. I asked Tats about that.
Because, you know, with like the electric guitar, it's like technically is like invented in like the early 30s, but it probably didn't come into its own until like the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Because people discovered new ways of using it.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like with something like this that's so mechanical.
This is the start of something.
This is the start of something, but you don't know where it's going to end up, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's one of the really interesting things. So we don't want to overdo it, right?
You don't want to be too prescriptive about how to use it, right?
Yeah, we might have to wait like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, right,
like,
exactly. And then you'll discover the new genre that emerges from this.
Yeah,
particular
hope so.
instrument.
Hope so. Yeah.
After talking to Tats, I headed back outside. Naturally, I wanted to record a sample library of the instrument, so I plugged in my trusty Zoom recorder and got to work.
Headphone out.
Engineer Lucas sat with me and showed me the ropes.
What we call kind of hammer mode, which is this first one, which I've kind of indicated with a B.
Okay,
So
B.
it's kind of plucky.
Oh, that's
But,
perfect. Yeah, that's beautiful.
So yes, I sampled each note with a variety of settings. In addition to the hammer sound, there's also a pad mode.
Like, it basically keeps sending energy into the resonators and it keeps them vibrating indefinitely. So that's
Oh,
like
I
another
see.
thing you couldn't do on like an actual acoustic instrument.
Needless to say, I sampled the pad mode as well. When I got back to my hotel, I chopped up all of the samples I collected over the day and turned them into a decent sampler instrument. I'm really happy with how the samples came out. It's a very relaxing and inspiring sound. Now, through the magic of sampling, I've made this into a playable chromatic preset. Of course, that's not how the real-world instrument worked. For now, the prototypes have only 8 notes. So as I used it in conjunction with the sequencer, it felt more like a drum machine, one where the sounds just happened to be harmonic notes. To simulate what it's like to use the real instrument, I'm going to limit myself to just a handful of notes. Right now, I'm going to try to use this more as like a backing instrument. Okay, let's hear this. I'm going to turn the delay on. That's cool. I'm going to use the Voltage Lab to add some bass. What do you say? Shall we involve the VL tone? Of course, these samples are only a tiny snapshot of what this instrument can sound like. There are currently 5 prototype units in existence, and since the resonators are interchangeable, each prototype sounded different. So I've really only captured what this one unit sounded like on this one day. And of course, the basic idea behind this instrument is that playing it should be a tactile experience, in which you're messing with the tines, placing things on them, tapping them, and that's something you really just can't do on a computer. That being said, I think it's a really cool sample set, and I'm excited to hear what people do with these sounds. All in all, I had a great time at Superbooth. Over the 3 days, I saw a ton of exciting gear, but the most inspiring part was actually just getting to meet other people who are passionate about synthesizers, both YouTubers as well as people behind instruments I love. I also really enjoyed that the festival was outside. When I needed some space away from synthesizers, I could just walk over to the nearest tree and see a bird feeding its baby. And then after that, I could walk 10 feet to the right and see someone playing a Buchla music easel. Kind of a unique experience. If you like this video, it'd be great if you could give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. I've got a bunch of cool videos coming up. The sample library I made in this video is available for free. You can download it from decentsamples.com or from within the Decent Sampler plugin. If you want to support what I do, the Patreon's just $5, and every month you'll get an exclusive sample library just for patrons. And if you join, you can download the entire back catalog right from within Decent Sampler. Okay, I think that's it. See you soon.